Welcome back to Welcome Home. I'm Rachel Holder with Compass Real Estate. We are back with one very special guest, the reigning Miss Tennessee 2019, Brianna Mason, who's here to share about a special kind of space that I can't wait to hear more about.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For being here.
Thank
a local
you.
celebrity in the studio, a statewide celebrity, really.
No.
Before we get to the spaces, I want to talk about your reign so far. You made Tennessee State history in June.
Oh, I did. In June, I was crowned the first African-American Miss Tennessee, and I never knew that that would even be a possibility for me. It took 4 years for me to win the title, and I remember my first year looking at portraits of all the Miss Tennessees that came before me, and none of them looked like me. And I set a goal to make my own history, but also be a representation for so many others that will come after me.
And speaking of that, you are a first grade teacher.
Yes.
So you have a lot of little people that look up to you too.
Yes.
We have to say hi to them before we go any further. So
hey y'all.
All your little friends.
Yes.
My son is in first grade, so I'm sure they are just loving.
Yeah. Imagine a whole class full of him.
Yeah.
They're fun, but they're really excited. I got to go back to my school, Hobgood Elementary in Murfreesboro, and they had like an assembly, and they had all of my students in little VIP seats. They were just excited, and I've been able to travel the state, not only representing the Miss Tennessee organization, but also representing teachers and being a voice for teachers, because that's a voice that's sometimes unheard, and so that's been a real pleasure of mine.
Well, being a teacher is such hard work, but you mentioned it took 4 years of hard work to get your crown, and I think people think, oh, a pageant, you know, but it's so much more than that.
Oh my gosh, yes. Especially the Miss America organization, which Miss Tennessee is a part of, there's such an emphasis on scholarship, education, and service. Actually, I've been able to earn around $35,000 in scholarship money.
That's amazing.
That goes towards my education and went towards my bachelor's degree from UT Knoxville, and then my master's degree in elementary education from UT Knoxville. And so I'm so grateful to the Miss America organization for that, but also for the opportunity to serve my community with my social impact Advocates for Autism.
There's a lot at stake in the competition, for sure. Well, I think about, you know, there are so many aspects to the competition, to the pageant world that are difficult, but I always think about that dreaded pull the question out of the hat question, and you just never know what you're going to get. And you had an incredibly difficult question, but so many folks are saying that's really one of the main things that won you the crown. Tell us about the dreaded question.
Oh my goodness. Well, so it was a random question. It was all up to chance, and the final night of Miss Tennessee, the last thing that I did for the competition was I pulled this question, and it was, what's your opinion on Confederate monuments? And me personally, myself and my community, we have a very strong opinion about Confederate monuments, and so I was able to share my opinion with the judges and the audience, and just go for it, and, you know, stick to my guns, and know that not everybody will agree with me, but that's okay, and it's all about being confident in what you're saying.
Well, and that speaks so much to, again, you're such a role model for a lot of young people, boys and girls alike, and being authentic and open and honest in yourself.
Absolutely. That's something that I really pride myself in, is being real and showing people that Miss Tennessee is just a real person. She just happens to have this crown, and I just love being able to touch all different communities across this state. It's been an absolute honor this year.
Speaking of touching a lot of people, you at a very young age have already touched so many people by founding a nonprofit. Tell me about your nonprofit that you started and what you're doing with that.
So in 2017, I was able to start a nonprofit called Advocates for Autism. It was inspired by a very close family friend. Her name is Bethany, and she has autism. And her family and I, we wanted to do something to not only improve her life, but also so many others like her. 1 in 59 children have been diagnosed with autism this year, and so that was such an opportunity for me to be able to spread awareness and educate people about autism all across the state.
And one thing that you do with that, I want to talk about real quickly, the sensory-free spaces that you create through that.
Absolutely. I've been able to go into businesses and schools and churches and give them ideas about how they can make their spaces more inclusive for everyone. And so in fact, I'm in April 4th, during Autism Awareness Month, I'm going to be at the Ripley's Aquarium in the Great Smoky Mountains. And they're going to have this Autism Family Day where they're going to turn the lights down and they're going to turn the weird aquarium music down, and then just let people with autism and their families experience the aquarium like everyone else. And things like that, those opportunities are just so special because it should be our duty to make all of our spaces more inclusive for everybody.
Thank you so much for being here. We're out of time, but I feel like I want to have you back on again. We have so much more to talk about. Thank you so much. Well, and thank you guys so much for joining us as well for our premiere episode of Welcome Home. Make sure to watch on the first Friday of every month. In April, we have an entire show dedicated to renovations and flips that you don't want to miss. I'm Rachel Holder with Compass Real Estate, and I'd love to help you with your real estate needs as well. You can find me at rachelholderhomes.com. We'll see you next time.